Yeah. Oh, and also I do work for a mega church, but you can't get me talking about that like too much, or I could get in a little trouble. But
wait, can we name the church?
What?
He works at Pastor John Grace.
Okay,
yeah. I didn't put two and two together because Shama was telling me that there was this guy that worked at a mega church that needs to come on the podcast, and
Did I not?
You
say
never
that
said
it's
his
Robert?
name. Yeah,
I told you Robert. I've told you over and over that Robert works for that church.
Yeah.
So can we say that you work for a mega church?
Oh no, you could say I work there. I just can't talk too much about
are we rolling?
John Gray or like
Okay.
my job or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we're rolling.
Okay.
Okay, cool. That works though. That makes
Okay.
sense. Hey, whoa, hey.
Yeah, let's just be vague about it.
I'm leaving that on the show.
Okay.
People will never know
But,
what we're
like-
being vague about.
Is there like any chance we could get him in the basement? Is that like in the realm of possibility at
It
all?
is possible. I have listened to the show before, and I do know about your obsession with Joel Osteen.
Oh.
I have
Joel
seen.
Osteen was at your church.
Yeah, he's been there on multiple occasions.
Wait a
Wait,
minute.
did you get close to Jo?
I have been close to Jo. Yes.
What did it
I
feel
have
like?
photos of him.
What did it feel like?
Wow, it was. He's quite the he's a very poised person, because like most people, it's like you see them on TV, and in real life like they're just kind of like a normal person, but like with Joel Osteen, like his TV personality like is him,
Carries over.
you know? Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
It's like he has a presence about him.
Yes.
He doesn't seem real. Like he just
that's
seems like
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Like, does he have security?
I mean, like the church in general has pretty high security. So
Okay.
like,
Okay.
not too much of an issue, but
All right.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's introduce each other and then or ourselves, and then let's introduce our guests so we can talk more about this. Because inquiring minds want to know.
My name is PD, and I'm JO's #1 fan.
Let's go. Hey, my name is Shama, and my house is not decorated for Christmas this year. What's up? Welcome to Church Stories, the podcast that exists.
Is that a
because
Grace decision or is that a you decision?
That's a unanimous couple decision. Now we put some lights over a bookshelf. That's the most we've done. Is that bad?
Yeah.
Man, shut up, PD.
You need to step it up. I've had Christmas lights all year.
Oh, okay. Wow. Because you don't take things down.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, this is welcome to Church Stories. Church Stories exist because you laugh the hardest,
When you're not supposed to.
and when are you not supposed to laugh,
In church.
or at church-related things, even though they're very, very funny, and we enjoy them. And that's why we made this show.
Can I make a confession?
Make it.
Never listened to a Joel Osteen sermon. I listened to him on Oprah's podcast. That is the only thing that I've listened to him on.
interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Oprah Winfrey just loves him to death. But okay, so today on the show we have a close personal friend. We could call him a friend of the show. You've listened to a lot of the show,
I have, yeah.
and I would say that you're a comedy genius.
Yep.
You're a writer, director.
I listened to your
Producer.
Kanye remix.
Golly, you're a rapper. Oh my gosh, how I would be remiss if I didn't mention that. A writer. What else have I said? Man, so we've known of each other since when? How long have we known?
Ooh.
Let people see.
Oh, it predates this. I have a very specific memory of the first time I met you.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you remember this or not.
Hit me.
Okay. I was like 20 years old, sophomore in college, and our mutual friend Zach Millsaps was recording a demo reel for you.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that.
You know why I remember that?
Why?
Is because I was super, super sick that day.
Okay.
But I knew you were going to be there, and we were going to shoot with one of our mutual friends who's a really good cinematographer.
Yeah, Andrew Bradford.
Yeah, Andrew Bradford. And I just really wanted to be on this shoot. So it was like, you know what? I'm going to go anyway.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
my job was to hold the boom pole, but like my hands were so sweaty that like I could barely hold it up. I'm sure Bradford is thinking like, who the heck is this kid that Zach's wrong? He can't hold the pole right. But no, the only reason I remember this so specifically is because we were packing up at Bradford's house to go to a different location, and I was holding the sound recorder, and it was raining that day, and I dropped it in a puddle, and you're the only one that saw. And you just shot me this look like, I won't say anything if you don't.
Oh man!
Did the sound recorder make it?
It did make it, yeah.
Praise
it was,
God.
It was my school's recorder too.
Dude, dropping gear on set is just like the biggest no.
I know.
Wait, so what Shama project was this? Is this like Shama YouTube days, or is this post let people see?
This is Shama YouTube days. So initially I was trying to work on a demo reel, which a demo reel is like, hey, like blurbs of you in stuff. But people weren't putting me in stuff. So I asked Zach, I was like, hey, can you write scenes that feel and look like movies and help me shoot that so I could put that in a reel so people can be like, oh, that's Shama and he's in stuff.
You're trying to bamboozle people?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
That's a thing. And we started it, but we never finished. It's like one of those projects that never
I was wondering what happened to that.
Like,
yeah.
Zach showed me footage, but it never materialized into anything. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then after that, we worked together at Let People See for a season.
Yeah.
And then cut to me wanting to do, I was working on music, on a music video.
Yeah.
And I'd never done a serious music video. I've just done stuff at my house where I filmed myself and it looks terrible. And I don't even know how I knew that you did music videos. How did I know that?
You had acted in one of mine.
Yeah,
before
okay, yeah, I
Chick-fil-A.
did. Yeah. One of your, and I was like, dude, well, okay, so I just got to use you for this. Let's just do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so I wrote the song called Chick-fil-A and I pitched it to you. And I was like, hey, this is, Andrew produced it and this is how it's going to look. This is how I think the video should look. And yeah, you just kind of took off running with it.
Yeah.
And wrote a treatment. And I'm not going to lie, I disagreed with a lot of the things. And just because, no, not disagreed, but I was like, man, I don't want to marry a Chick-fil-A bag.
I'm a serious Chick-fil-A rapper.
I was like, man, I'm not trying to you serenade the building, get down on your knees. And I was like, I'm not.
Did you not realize the ridiculousness of what you were doing in the first place?
I did, but a part of me, I just was like, you know what I mean? I was like, this not gonna. But then, I was like, oh, this is the comedy. You got to step outside yourself and have somebody look in and go, this is gonna work if you do it. And I did it, and people were like, God, this is freaking amazing. And then afterwards, I was cutting GIFs, of every little from the song, and I was like, God, Robert's a genius. I didn't see any of these things.
I got an idea in the Veggie Tales video, or the song where I pitched Lil Sham.
Yeah.
But the thing that did not get through was I wanted Shama to wear something like Fruit of the Loom style, him dress up as an apple. And then looking back, Shama was definitely right about not doing that.
So many things.
Wow.
So many. Yeah, but so we collaborated on Chick-fil-A. Veggie Tales.
Yeah, that was your biggest hit.
Yeah. Which, okay, let me tell you a story about Veggie Tales. I wrote that song and recorded it in January of this year, right?
Yeah, I remember listening to it in your car.
And you're like, dude, this is going to be huge. January. Do you know why it took so long?
Why?
It's because Robert wanted to shoot everything practically.
Oh yeah, that was it, wasn't it?
And I didn't know how to do any of that. So I was like, Robert, we could green screen a lot of it. Our company's we got a huge green screen. I was like, we could green screen a majority of it, and the stage and put me in the thing and light it. And Robert no, we need to do this thing and we need to make the sets. And I went through crunching numbers with Tony and building. We walked through Lowe's for 2 hours one day.
Really?
Yeah,
How long did it take to build all the sets?
Probably took 8 hours maybe. But
Worth
yeah,
it.
maybe 8 hours. Yeah, but so that was the thing. Afterwards, when I was editing the video, we were editing together. We sat there. I was like, oh my gosh, this you could see this come together because it looks so much better. It's so much more real.
A green screen would have been lame.
Yeah, yeah, man. That was one of those things where I was like, all right,
That's what a lot of
give
people...
Robert all the things.
They commented on the production quality. In the YouTube comments.
Which initially I was like, if we wanted to, so that's kind of why it took almost 8 months, was because everything happened and then nothing happened for a long time, and then all of a sudden was like, all right, everything's happening again, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And we finished it and we edited it, and like, it was kind of set up and done within like 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, all these videos, like we put together a first cut at the end of the day.
Which is just insane.
Yeah. No, I don't know if anyone else does that.
No,
but,
dude, no.
Yeah.
That's
But I
a
mean,
great
props to
model.
you as an editor. Like, you always have people like over
Dude.
your shoulder, but like you're the one that's actually like cutting all that stuff. And,
Well, just because, as long as I can understand like this, like the skeleton of the whole thing, I'm like, all right, this will come together.
Yeah.
Like I know where to connect these bones, and then like everything else kind of comes together. I'm like, I can put out a good layout of like stuff, and then after that, you'll just go, oh, so this has got to go there, and this has got to go there, and this has got to go there. Then somebody will be like, all right, do this now, and I'll go, okay, cool, this works. But so that's why we've known you. That's why I've known you.
yeah.
And yeah, man, it's just been crazy. It's been exciting. We've got so many things in the works. You work for church,
I do. Yeah.
and
We're not going to name it,
We're not
right?
going to name the church. No, can't. We're not going to name it.
I mean, we could. I mean, there are only so many big churches in
Yeah, that's
Greenville,
true.
South Carolina. I work
you
for Relentless Church. Shout out to John Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Shout out
really-
to Pastor John Gray.
I hope this is like the one time where we get in the news, like Relentless Church employee says this, this, and this.
We're like, on the podcast outlet. We're like, whoa. We're just two dudes with microphones.
Hey, as long as they drop a link in the article, then we're good.
Good
Numbers,
publicity,
boy.
bad publicity. Still I can't speak.
Still
I can't talk. So you work for church.
I do, yeah.
How is it making the transition from artist to not for artist, because you're still an
Yeah,
artist.
still an artist. Just got to pay the bills.
But yeah, you got to pay the bills.
Pretty much, yeah.
How is it working at a church and like
Yeah.
putting your talents to use there?
Yeah. I mean, the main thing for me is like going to like a church this big that like has all the connects with like the really big like kind of celebrity preachers. Like it's kind of a little bit of a culture shock to me just because I didn't come from that. And like I went to college with people that like were really into like the Stephen Furticks or my little brother's FaceTiming me. I'm so sorry. But like all those people, and like I had just never like followed preachers like that. And now I'm like
In the midst.
yeah, especially like in the transition from like Pastor John like being established there, like all of these really big people were coming, and like I kind of got hit with it all at once, and it's like
So you're like,
there's
who
this
are
whole
you?
like little subculture here,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of trying to figure it out.
You got to touch the hem of J.O.'s garment. Right?
Yes, my sight was healed,
Oh man.
but yeah, but I
I
mean
was like, my skin cleared, my beard filled up. It was a miracle.
And I can't
That's where
stop
this
talking
beard-
like this.
ever since I met Joel Osteen.
Dude, have you heard PD's impression of Joel Osteen?
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
We just say anything ended with baby.
We used to go back and forth doing that all the time.
Oh man, I'm swimming in this tithe money, baby.
Yeah, I just killed that sermon, baby. Destroyed in the house of the Lord. Amen, baby.
You just mentioned something that I was thinking about. This is off topic. Comedy. This is comedy vernacular.
Okay.
It's a terrible thing to bomb, but you
Yeah.
definitely want to kill. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to
Yeah.
bomb, but you want to kill.
Yeah.
I'm like, where do these terms
You do want to
coming
be
from?
the bomb.
You
though.
don't. Yeah, you want to be the. You want to be the bomb, but you don't want to bomb.
Yeah.
But it's important that you kill.
What would
I don't get it.
Okay,
It's
so you've been
so weird.
at the pulpit. What is bombing to you?
What is? Oh man, what is bombing?
Have you had a sermon
Okay,
bomb before?
Let me ask Robert first,
Okay.
Robert, and then I'll answer it.
Okay.
What is? Have you seen someone bomb on stage like at a church?
At church, man, I don't know, because I'm trying to think of what that looks like, because I definitely know what it looks like for a comedian to bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely seen pastors like go for jokes that just don't land.
Well, I have a clear like idea in my head of what I considered to be a major sermon bomb. Can I say this?
Is it me?
No, it was
Okay.
your brother.
Oh, oh.
Should I?
Okay,
should we censor that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
Don't.
tell the-
I think I know what you're talking about.
You can censor that, but I'll tell the story. He, if he's listening to this, he'll know because he preached it. But it was his sermon. He tried to make a sermon illustration out of the the movie Snakes on a Plane. Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. He tried. Like,
Get these devils out of my mother plane.
I love the TV edits. Like, get these monkey fighting snakes off this Monday to Friday plane. You're like, okay, but here's what he was saying. He said, like, so we're the plane, and the snakes are like sin. Okay. And we're trying to get the sin out of the plane.
Yeah, I remember this.
And no one came to the altar that day.
Did he reference the famous Samuel L. Jackson line in that sermon, though?
I
don't know. All I remember is he had a toy snake.
He had several toy snakes that he threw into the crowd.
Oh my! Oh wow, that's even better.
So no, it was
no. Anytime props are added in a sermon,
so it's like one why. But I remember that. I think a sermon bombing is just it's just like something that. Okay, here's what I'll say. There's a point of preaching when you're planning and you're sitting, you're going like, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say that, and you're like, and then I'm gonna get here, and it's just gonna connect with everybody, because you're like teaching and preaching and leading. It's in a way you're thinking like, I'm gonna say this verse and people aren't gonna get it. I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna say, God wants you to do more than you want to do for you, and you say something like that, and you're like, that's the moment it starts, like connecting with people, and then you get to like your climax point, and then just people just glazed over.
Yeah,
that's like bombing, and then all of a sudden you get to that point like sin's the snakes on the plane of your life, and then you're like, oh, people still aren't with me, and then
I guess it's similar to comedy.
But here's a classic. I'll tell you when a preacher is bombing, and folks at home, if a preacher is bombing, they'll just revert to saying stuff that they love. They'll just go, I just love God's word. I love God's word. I love reading God's word. I love when God speaks to me through his word. You're like, hey,
but
man,
I hear that all the time.
It's a filler. It's a filler. It's a filler.
What were you going to say, Robert?
I have heard stories. Actually, a dude that I know this happened to, where it's like he goes up to preach a sermon and like he thinks he kills it. He's hitting all his points. Everything on the outline is good. Like I went to a Christian university, so I know a lot of people that have done this. But he finishes up, and then the crowd's like, "Oh wow, we're done," and we're singing. And he's like, "What time is it?" And it's like that whole sermon. That was 5 minutes.
Shut up, dude. That's another thing too. Yeah. Sermons that bomb, usually people are in and out within like 5 or 6 minutes.
I mean, that's a perfect sermon for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like if you could.
I mean, at work, our services are like 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah. Y'all do 2 services?
We do, yeah.
Some great music.
5 hours a day?
Man,
I've come across
you said
the
5
stream.
hours a day?
I'm not in there all the time.
Oh, okay.
But like, I mean, the people that do like actually like work in that service, like that's a huge chunk of the
man.
Yeah.
So when I was looking into like how can I contact John Gray somehow, I saw the live stream of the sermon and I was like, this looks pretty hype, honestly, with the music and the choir and
yeah. Dude, there are people that will respond to you if you comment on that. I know some of those people. So,
really? Okay.
Or respond to about getting on the show?
I know a commenters on the live stream.
Oh.
I would love for you to ask him to be on the podcast through the live stream.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try anything. I'll send a pigeon.
Okay.
We'll do that, man. We'll do that,
man.
So you also you're a Bible school grad. Can I call it Bible school? Christian school, college graduate, university graduate. He graduated from, I'm going to say it, North Greenville University.
Yeah, no, totally. I did.
NGU.
Extinguish yourself.
Distinguish yourself. Penguin yourself.
Dude, have you heard the story about Extinguish Yourself?
I do, but I don't remember it. Refresh my memory. Have you heard of this?
No, I just made that joke on the podcast.
There's a story behind it. I think it's kind of, tell us.
I mean, so our slogan is like, one of them is distinguish yourself because the words NGU are in distinguish.
And NGU, like, whenever that's spelled out on like billboards, the NGU is like capitalized and then like red.
Exactly.
Just like the words of Jesus.
Yeah. And then there's always a picture of like 5 different ethnicities of people because diversity.
Is there diversity?
Yeah.
It seems like everybody I know
definitely
that goes there is white.
They're white because everybody
definitely
there's
have
white and they
one
wear
person
chacos.
of each ethnicity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's diversity.
I know somebody who took one of those pictures and he said, he told me straight up, he's just like, I just looked. I was like, hey, it's brown, white, Hispanic, Asian.
dude,
Come here real quick. Yeah,
Actually, I'm in one of the website pictures.
Are you really?
I remember because when I graduated college, like I hadn't found a job in like a few months, and I was just curious, how much money did I spend on this degree? And like literally on like the web page that tells you like tuition costs and everything, like I'm there. like me and my 2 best friends from school.
So you were just smiling at yourself while you were like upset looking at on the website.
Pretty much.
Wait a second. So you were looking. Wait a second. So you went. Let me get this straight. This is after you graduated.
Yeah.
Okay. After you graduated, you went on the school's website of the like the website of the school you just graduated from to look and see how much the degree you already have costed you.
Exactly. I mean, I knew how much I was paying in loans at the time. I just
So you were
wanted
like,
an overall picture.
I really just want to get like I just want to get like a bird's eye view here.
I want to know how long it is before I get like I break even on my investment.
And did you just cry?
Oh man. I mean, my face being on that webpage just kind of rubs salt in the wound.
I know, like I hate it, but I'm on it. But I still personally I'm impartial towards it. But I'm there and I'm smiling and I look happy, so something good came of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we just went on a big change. We're talking about extinguish yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
The school, yeah.
Yeah. Well, someone got the right idea. They thought it'd be funny to like. I'm not even sure if they actually like spray painted this on the chapel. I'm pretty sure they like spray painted this on like a wooden board and put it on top of the chapel. But like we had the words extinguish yourself like right above the chapel like the day before one of the chapel services. Now, I did media for the chapel, so like I was one of the first people in there, me and the people I worked with. So like
Oh no.
yeah, it's like 7:30, 8 a.m. and I'm walking to go to work and like everyone's outside and there are police surrounding the building and they had brought in the freaking bomb squad because they took extinguish yourself as a possible threat.
Whoops.
Yep.
That's funny.
What did you? So were you like, can I just get to that MacBook right there?
Yeah. I mean, I was happy to like walk away and go back to bed, but we had chapel that day. There was no bomb in there, but yeah, that was
Except for the Holy Spirit who exploded in everybody's hearts and lives.
Amen.
Exactly. But moral of the story is just don't write vague threats over.
Okay, did they find the person who wrote that?
I'm pretty sure they did, and I think they might have got expelled. I'm not for sure about that. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How was it going to a Christian university?
Wow, it was
What's your experience going?
yeah.
How'd you end up there for one?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was thinking about because whenever like you go to a place like this, like and you're like a freshman, like everyone is like, "Oh, how did you end up in North Greenville?" Because everyone has a story. It's like, "Wow, I just prayed about it a lot, and I just felt God really calling me to come here.
All right.
I wanted to be around other Christians and like
All right,
learn from a
Tyler.
biblical worldview."
Yeah.
Literally, how I ended up there is. It was literally the last place I applied in high school. I remember touring that place and was like, "This, I don't want to go here. This is."
But you went.
Yeah, I did because I needed a school that had a pretty good media program. It wasn't going to be too expensive. I wasn't like fully committed into film yet, so like I wasn't really looking at film schools, but I wanted a media program, and that was like the most cost-effective place that like had like the best media program, because like even like some of the bigger schools like Clemson like barely has anything. That's like where engineers and farmers go. And I almost went to USC, but that was also expensive, so like I went to NGU and it worked out okay.
It did work out.
Yeah, maybe that could be their slogan. Cost effective.
Yes.
North Greenville.
NGU, it will work out okay.
They're like, North Greenville. How did you got to lose?
I knew a guy who went there that I worked with him, and he was like, if Barney Stinson was real.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah, it was a very entertaining person. He would just hand me his phone and be like, swipe for me on Tinder.
Oh, really?
And I'd do it.
Wow.
Nice.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Tinder's wild.
He'd be like, yeah, I was buying beer. I think I saw someone from NGU. I hope they don't narc.
And you're like, how do you not know that I'm in a narc on you? Why did they trust you?
Nah, I'm cool.
Because you had to say so, you're not.
I'm not going to get you expelled.
Oh, man. So, Robert, what's your experience been with church? Like, did you grow up in church? You grew up out of church? Your parents involved in church?
Yeah. I grew up very much in church. I grew up Presbyterian.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey, all right. That's the show for today, guys.
Yeah. No, it was. I mean, for a lot of people, like Presbyterian, like kind of has two different meanings.
Yeah, I know.
Because there were two different denominations. One of them is like they have women pastors, and like some of them are kind of chill with gay people. And then there's the other kind, which is what I was, where we didn't like women pastors or gay people very much.
Oh shoot. Okay.
Aren't they the sprinkle baptism people?
They are. Yeah.
Okay, that's all I know about them. It's literally the only thing I know about Presbyterians.
Growing up Pentecostal in the Bible Belt is equivalent to growing up under a rock, because the amount of things that you don't know, even you, like, it's like Presbyterian.
I do a podcast called Church Stories, and I barely know anything about the denominations.
I know more about Islam than I do about Presbyterian.
Actually,
which says a lot about me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So you grew up Presbyterian. So when did you grew up here in South Carolina though, right?
I was born in Tennessee, and I lived there until I was like 13.
Okay.
So, yeah. I've been here a solid like 10, 11 years, I guess.
Were you homeschooled?
I was up until high school.
Okay. Cool. Man,
and
you're one of us.
I spent like 2 years of middle school homeschooled. I was homeschooled like elementary school and then like 1 year middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm familiar a little bit.
So not only were you like, because that's another element. So not only were you like Presbyterian, but you were also homeschooled. So what was your perception of the outside world? What did you know besides home?
Oh, wow.
And church?
Wow. I mean, I essentially didn't really until I got older. It's like, this is kind of all there is, and everyone else is like, they're out to get you, you know? Like, when you go out into the real world, you're gonna have to stand up for your faith, because everyone is trying to tear you down.
I
stand up for your faith. That's the one.
I think a lot of people who are like that just view everything outside of the church as that scene in God's Not Dead, where they're having a debate.
Yeah.
God can
prove
to me that God is real.
People aren't really that mean, generally.
Yeah. No, my first like public school class where I realized that like the professor like wasn't like a God's Not Dead type professor, like that's when I was like, wow, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
For real. Yeah.
So I mean, like, so that is insane to me. You know what's crazy? So I grew up once again, like in the South, and then I went to a Christian school, and then I was homeschooled. So yeah, it was, everything outside of our circle was just considered unsafe.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, they took prayer out of schools, and they don't preach God's word. There's people, debauchery and sin. And then all of a sudden, like, I remember, dude, this is crazy. I didn't realize this until I was in college, and I worked for Papa John's, and I delivered pizza to schools here in the upstate. And like, I delivered pizza to this one school, and they had like Christian music playing, and I was like, I cannot believe it. What? This is crazy. They're letting God in schools. And so I asked Parker, our friend Parker, and I was like, Parker, do they do that? And he was like, yeah, dude, like, it's the cafeteria. All those ladies back there are Christians. Like, they play Christian music.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm in my early 20s. So I was like, here I'm thinking like every school is like this, like, God, don't do it. God doesn't belong here. And then they're like, oh yeah, There's ladies who are like, hey, God bless you, like Merry Christmas.
It's
like
a really dangerous kind of dichotomy
mindset.
to set up.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like the straw men that are built up and then passed around is what is true,
Exactly,
and it's
yeah.
not at
Yeah.
all. Like I saw a post that said it'd be easier to carry a gun into school than a Bible, and I was like, that is just not true.
Yeah, what?
Nobody's gonna stop you if you're holding a Bible. Like,
There used to be a day where
aren't
like
those people?
There used to be a day where
Yeah.
a bunch of kids would like make a point of like setting their Bible on their desk, like a bunch of the like Baptist
Yeah.
youth group kids.
you can do that. It's
Yeah.
okay. Like,
I'm like, I'm making a statement for Jesus.
you could like tape a Bible to your chest, and nobody's gonna stop you. It's okay. You can do that
Okay.
anywhere.
So here's my theory about this, and I'm just gonna veer off just a bit. Like, people think like you can't be mean to people in person, and if you are mean to somebody in person, everybody around that sees that like hates you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like for example, we were in New York, you and I. PD.
Are you talking about
a
the
couple
crazy
months
woman?
ago? No. There was this guy who was selling a bunch of hats, like right around the corner from like the World Trade Center, and he had several MAGA hats on like a table on a corner in New York City, and a bunch of people were just walking by, and then I thought, oh yeah, you can't film and yell in this guy's face for selling a hat that you don't like. You know what I mean? That's not how the world works.
Yeah.
That's how it works in viral videos. But in reality, old boy's gonna sell his hats, and you're gonna walk by him because you're a
as long as he's
productive
not,
member
like-
of society who has
Yeah.
stuff to do.
Yeah, it's a person with a different opinion.
That's
than
what
you.
I'm saying. But
Like
the
it
way-
might be a bad opinion, but still, it's-
exactly. But like, okay, so but the way people set it up, it's like, I cannot believe that you're doing this after all the what, you know. And I'm like, well, not everybody's like that. There's a few people like that, and everybody disagrees with those people unanimously. Show me those people, and we'll fight them. You know what I mean? Like we will disagree with you together.
I don't think I've ever walked past like a what would be considered a viral clip of like people fighting or anything like that. I've never experienced that in
Because
real
it's
life.
not real.
Well, it does happen, and like I think like it happens so rarely, but it always
I mean,
gets
the people
online.
that incite that, like, they're the type of people that are going to incite violence or controversy, regardless of. They're just looking for an excuse to do that.
Right. But then this is what but so we all grew up, 90s, 2000s in the Bible Belt in a time where like the image of people who aren't Christians, even Muslims, all right? Growing up in South Carolina, my family was moving back to Tanzania in 2003. This is 2 years after 9/11. This is when everybody said nothing but hateful things about Muslims.
Yeah.
And my family was about to move to a country that is 97% Muslim. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
we moved back, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, that's Mr. Nani, like
Yeah.
Abu, like he runs a bakery. We're gonna buy bread from him.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like this is how that dude's a butcher. Like we're gonna buy meat from him. Like that's it. And those people honestly were more faithful than the Christian people.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like, yeah, that's Mr. Baba Flani. So we'd go and buy, he'd tailor our clothes.
Yeah.
So
No,
you had
like-
to interact with those
Yeah.
people.
And like, everyone needs that kind of experience. Like,
Yeah.
if you watch Queer Eye on Netflix, everyone needs the Queer Eye experience. You need 5 Muslims to just give you a makeover, and then you're
5 dudes just to come in your life and be like, hey, look, listen, baggy jeans, get out of here.
By the end of the episode, you'll be saying yas. You will.
Okay, so you were talking about born in Tennessee, you're homeschooled.
yeah.
So how was that?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed homeschool very much because, like, I mean, I just chilled with, like, my 2 siblings at the time. I eventually got 2 more, but I had 2 I was close to growing up. And, yeah, I'd go see my friends on Wednesday and Sunday at church, and that was all cool. In middle school, I did go to a very small Christian private school, and I low-key kind of hated that. Like, it was so small. Like my class, my first year was like me and 5 other people,
Really?
and none of them were really friends with me. So and like middle school on its own is kind of like the hardest time ever.
Right.
Like
That's
kid's
a
life.
weird time to enter, like as your first year.
Yeah,
Because there are people who've already like clicked up.
yeah,
And so they're like, and then you come in and you're like, what?
yeah. Christian private schools also have a lot of. I mean, those schools aren't cheap, so like the people there. You know,
Yeah.
it's a very preppy kind of school. That's kind of
Right.
not the family I was in. So that was,
Dude.
I remember this one time where literally like there was like some random like dollar bill like on the floor, and like everyone was like just kind of looking at it, and it's like I still remember this one person being like, "Oh, only a hobo would care about $1." And then I was just sitting there like,
no.
"Oh, I want that dollar."
Am I a hobo?
Yes.
Whoa.
It's like 1/10 of a solid Lego set for me. Like,
wow.
yeah.
Hey, that's kind of wild that like your brains, you know, like you still remember
Yeah.
a moment like that.
Uh-huh.
That like
Real, yeah.
they were like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Because like when
think-
I eventually like in high school I went to a charter school, and like I took like arts classes at a public school, and it was like the exact opposite of that. Like I was around like a ton of different people. Like my best friend was like a Catholic. I was friends with like atheists and just people that didn't care, and then plenty of Christian people too, because
Yeah.
it's still the South. But like it was just this amalgamation of a bunch of different people, and we all just got along because we were like nice people to each other, and like that was just a much realer like picture of like what community could look like to me than like what the Christian private school was,
Right.
or these like really tight-knit kind of church communities that like stayed in their bubble, were afraid to go out. You know?
That's crazy, man.
I did 1 year in Christian private school.
Why'd you say that?
Well-
Like you did, like you went to prison up the river, like uptown. Yeah, you did.
They made me have my hair cut like it was prison.
Really?
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, not really, but it was like 2 finger lengths above your eyebrow, I think was the rule. And then my
Oh, we had that rule too.
Really?
Yeah.
my teacher would be like, "Hey, you're getting a little shaggy over there." And like,
Wow.
do this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I was the worst kid. I wasn't even a bad kid, but I came from public school, so I was automatically the worst kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because somehow you were supposed to be good in Christian school, but even though if you came from public school, people just expected you to already be just like a hooligan.
Yeah.
So like, what are you doing here?
What? I'm curious what kind of student you were in school, because like I follow your meme page, and like plenty of the people I grew up with would be like, "Wow, this is such blasphemy." And it's
Oh, I
like-
get that all the time. But
yeah.
I listened in on my on the parent teacher conference through the vent.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And my teacher, he said like, yeah, he's really smart. He just does not care about any of this. Like he's getting by. That's all he seems to care about. But he's really smart.
Yeah.
And like, didn't you say your teachers would tell your parents, they'd be like, none of the kids get his jokes, but
Yeah.
we do.
That's another thing he said.
Oh wow.
Yeah. PD's always been. I remember I met you when you were like, okay, so it was like 8 years ago. How old were you? Like
I was really young.
11. You
Yeah.
were like 12. Yeah,
Like
11,
I met
12.
Afro Shama.
Yeah. Ooh, back.
Ooh, wow.
Don't bring. Let's not.
I don't want to bring up what I was like either. We were both very,
But yeah, I remember you had the
cringy
boxiest
individuals.
haircut. But I remember meeting you, and I remember we talked about Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Remember that show, Chris Rock show? Everybody Hates
Oh
Chris.
yeah.
And I remember that you watched that. And I was like, oh shoot, you actually like interested in good, like
Nick at Night. That's-
Yeah, Nick at Night, like good comedy. And then he started listening to a lot of the same like podcasts that I did, and you referred podcasts to me, and we bonded over a lot of podcasts. And so yeah, he's always just been like, especially hanging out because I was a youth pastor, and you hang out with a lot of like just copy and paste versions of the same people. So occasionally there's like 3 of you that I remember distinctly, and I mention often.
3 people that were like Control V.
No, yeah, they're like, it was you, there's Parker, and there's Tony, who were just like ahead of the curve, and you just look at them and you're like, oh, like y'all are like low key geniuses, like y'all are gonna become something.
I want that on a shirt.
Yeah.
Low key genius. That'd be great. You know Tony.
I'd rock that. Yeah, I know Tony.
How long have you known Tony for?
I mean, I met him on the Veggie Tales set.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he's also so we've just been bringing him in on a lot of stuff here and there because he's around.
We need to have him on the podcast at some point. I know he doesn't
sure.
want to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know about his rap
Band
song?
was-
I don't.
Oh, we gotta show it to you.
Wow. Okay.
Me and PD wrote this rap song for Tony, and we
and we're gonna listen to it right now live on the.
Tony.
We should pull it up.
Tony
I mean, I know a thing or two about secret rap songs.
Oh, you do, aka Mr. Secret SoundClouds.
Oh man.
No, but I think here's just my opinion. Like I grew up in like the Bible Belt, and I grew up in church.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, there's always stuff that's just a little bit weird about church and church culture.
Yeah.
And so finding people to bounce that stuff off with, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just like, it's almost like coming up for air just a little bit, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you can breathe again and be like, okay, we're weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like church
Yeah.
culture is weird.
I would like to
We
find-
roll like 50 people deep into a Zaxby's on Wednesday night. That's odd. You know what I mean? Like
I would
we're
always
weird.
just want to
Yeah.
find the person.
Church
who would-
people in high school theater. Like,
Golly, dude. Yeah, it's the same people.
Shout out to Thomas.
Oh my gosh.
I would just want to find the person who would let me like crack jokes about the sermon to them during church.
Yeah.
That would. And then I remember you got mad at me for that one time, but I was like, it means I'm listening.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Because you
it
did. You would like come
Yeah.
back and you. But I think okay. So at the same time, I mean, like that is like critical. I mean, it is.
I can't
It's a
make
different-
jokes about
it's a
something if I'm
different-
not listening to it.
God, I hate you. You're right though. But no, I think that's just the only thing. I think, yeah, like you could tell that there are people who were, that y'all were looking for. Like y'all were familiar with like the news and like pop culture and a bunch of other stuff. And I think that's kind of what makes a lot of people. I think that whole. Like there's a lot of Christians who are, I just need to know Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Dude, I remember there was this pastor at the college where I was at. He came and spoke at chapel. And this is a good quote, but at the same time, just kind of like, why? He was like, a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my fellow pastors read books. Somebody asked me, what kind of books have you been reading, pastor? And I told him I've been reading Genesis and Exodus and Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy and Joshua and Judges and Ruth, and he ran through all the Matthew and Mark.
Is that
and Luke
them
and
all?
yeah, and he was like, I don't need no other book. I just need the Bible. And I was like, man, come on, like, are you serious? Like,
you don't need science.
you don't. Yeah, like you're not
Do
gonna
you know
read
math?
anything else. You're not gonna read anything. Is the Bible enough? Yes, but are there other books that complement it, and are there books that people have read and listened to, wrote and studied that aid our understanding of Scripture and time and history and all that? Heck yeah, you know what I mean. So just kind of sounded like almost like a hint of ignorance to kind of be like,
Yeah.
I got everything that I need here in this pocket. You know what I mean?
That's how I am with the Message Bible, and it's all I need.
Man, R.I.P. Eugene Peterson. You know, he passed away this year.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this year's taking all the grades, man.
R.I.P.
The creator of SpongeBob, the creator of the Message translation.
I shared the petition to get the Super Bowl halftime show. To
You know
be
what?
Sweet
You know
Victory.
what?
Is this gonna happen?
So one thing about growing up super homeschooled and everything is I didn't watch SpongeBob as a kid.
Really?
And seriously, this past week after the creator died, I have a roommate that is constantly making SpongeBob references that I just have not gotten for like the past few years.
Wow. You grew up without SpongeBob?
Yeah, I decided this week I was gonna watch some SpongeBob, and yeah, I watched that Band Geeks episode, the Sweet Victory episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Dude.
that's kind of the kind of humor that I had as a kid a little bit. Like I wrote like a lot of comics when I was a kid, and like I went back like about a year or two ago and read some of them. It's the same kind of stuff.
SpongeBob was like watching SpongeBob was like, it was like somebody wrote inside jokes with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like wrote inside jokes.
And
that
there's
you
so many
knew.
there's so many like intelligent kind of jokes that like you as a kid would be kind of smart if you got them.
Yeah.
Like literally like before I got this job, like I spent a year and a half like doing freelance, and I worked at a radio station. I worked at Starbucks for a hot minute, and really like every single minute of me at Starbucks, I was essentially Squidward at
You get it.
Yeah.
Like when you're younger, you think
Exactly.
Squidward's boring. When
Yeah.
you've worked for a bit, you're
Yeah.
like, I understand.
yes.
I
But
get it.
That Band
Welcome
Geeks
to the
episode-
home of unrecognized talent. Please leave a message.
You're like, my gosh, that's me.
Band Geeks is important because for a lot of people, including me, first plot twist of your childhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest plot twist in children's cartoon history.
Man.
I got 600 people to click on that petition link, so I feel like I've done my part.
Doing your part.
Oh, also, as a film director, I think everybody should watch the episode where Squidward tries to teach SpongeBob about art.
Yeah.
I feel like that says a lot about creating art and art education, kind of, and like how there aren't really rules to this thing, you know?
Yeah.
They're just guidelines, not. Yeah.
Now I want to go back and binge SpongeBob, which I can do because I have Prime. If you have Prime, you have access to all the episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's what I've been watching it on. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Y'all shouldn't have told me that. I thought it was just on Hulu, and I hate Hulu ads.
Yeah, the same 4 ads over and over and over
Gosh,
again.
dude, I don't want toilet paper.
You do, but you don't want to see it.
I don't want to see it. Yeah, man. Okay, so you talked about art.
That's your segue.
No. But on the real though, so you, I think when it comes to there are a few people. I think I'm more comedian than I am artist.
Okay.
Like, I appreciate art, but at the same time, like I know what's funny, and I know, but I don't know how to create. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I'm like, I get the general idea of I know some of these words, you know what I mean? But then I think you come in and then other people come in, PD comes in, where you're like, oh, this is how you craft something like this. This is how this needs to be done. And then I go, okay, yeah, that makes sense now. And recognizing that, like, I just know now to stay in my lane. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, all right, I can
What is your
create.
lane?
Well, my lane is like creating, writing, and then calling somebody in who knows better and is like, you know, in touch with like pop culture and in touch with what's good, and then just going like, hey, here's a song, and then you go, this is what needs to be done.
I mean,
here.
you're very good at making people laugh, and you're a very dynamic performer, and like that's what you do really well, and like that's something not a lot of people like really have, even though everybody tries to act, you know.
But then
that's your lane.
When I try to create stuff that I think people will laugh at, like if I would have directed Veggie Tales the way I would have wanted, it wouldn't have landed as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking like, oh shoot, then I just need to recognize, okay, here's where I go, and then, you know, just kind of like the footsteps in the sand thing, where we come back and you go, hey, Shama, this is where I carried you. This is where I carried you for the rest of the song. It sounds where it needed to be.
It's kind of ridiculous, but running the meme page has given me like a really good idea of what people will respond to.
Which is right.
Honestly, though, like I feel like memes kind of represent like art as its most basic form, like boiled down to like, the bare bones.
It's like the relationship you have with Robert with music is like the relationship we have with memes, because you send them over all the time.
I send them over to you and you're like, that's not going to work. And then I'm like, but it's fun, you know, it's witty. So it's just one of those things where, okay, so like personally, you keep up with a lot of music videos.
Yeah.
You keep up with a lot of albums, music, and music videos. I don't do that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? You keep up with a lot of like pop culture, memes, references. I don't do that.
Even though I don't really do much with music, like that's another
keep up
thing.
with-
I'm listening to albums all the time.
So like when it comes to like crafting and music, I'm like, I'm the worst person to like do. I don't know too much about that because I'm not in that world already. Like I'm in like a very shallow end of all that. So I just talk to you and I'm like, hey, what memes work, or what is like a good music video right now? And then you tell me, hey, here are 10 music videos. Then I go, cool. I am bettered. You know what I mean? I am bettered by knowing that. So how is that like balancing? Like what do you tell artists now? Like what do you tell people now who are, I don't know what kind of audience that we have, who are trying to create? I feel like you're a successful like creator.
If you're listening to this and you're not trying to create, what you doing?
Yeah, like what are you doing? Stop listening. Yeah. But yeah, so like what do you tell people? Because like there are people who are like, I know what I'm doing, I can do this, and then things fall flat. You know what I mean?
Or they just never actually do anything.
I mean, we're always learning though, and that's the thing. Like, mean, I still don't I've done some like videos that have gotten views and stuff, but still like there's always more room to grow and like higher things to achieve. And like I still feel like I'm learning. Like a lot of people I hang out with, I still feel like I'm like very much a novice compared to them, you know. But it's just kind of like always staying in the craft kind of, and like just whatever you like making, just try to like consume as much as you can, and just figure out what other people do, but not to let like what other people do like define what you do. Like try to like figure out what is special about you, what makes you unique. I think like Josh Whedon had a quote where it's like, what makes you weird is like your greatest asset or whatever. And like that was like a really like kind of recent revelation for me. Just kind of a revelation I had again. It's like, again, like whether it be like growing up homeschooled or like kind of being a loner as a kid, it's like there's like my experiences are like very different from like a lot of the people I hang out with now, but it's like that gives me like a great opportunity to like make something that like connects with those other people, you know. I think I heard one filmmaker say to just like write, or it might have been a songwriter, but it's like just write what like you as a kid like would have needed to hear, like would have wanted to hear.
Wow.
And,
Wow. Wow, that's deep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot deeper than like kind of the videos I made with you, I guess. But it's like I really like making people laugh. Like that's really easy. Like I even when I try to do like serious stuff, like it's still like a lot of jokes and stuff in it, because like laughter is like a really good metric of like this is working.
Yeah,
because like you hear people responding to it.
What's so great
you know?
about stand up.
Yeah.
You have a
instant gratification.
Yeah.
or not.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't know what it would be like to like make a 100% like drama film with like no jokes in it and like try to screen that, you know?
What are you
Like,
what are you gauging?
I guess you'd have
Yeah.
to like get their responses after.
Yeah, you'd have to have someone walk up and tell you, where it's like, like comedy and horror like elicit the most like visceral reactions, because like you know when someone thinks something is funny, and you know when someone thinks something is scary. And so
True.
I didn't grow up on horror. I'm kind of getting more into it now, but like comedy was always, I know that people like this, so
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
To quote Pete Holmes, wouldn't it suck to be a magician?
Yeah.
Because there's no built-in response to magic.
Yeah.
I mean, there are funny magicians out there.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Yeah. That's crazy though.
Yeah.
Man. So what is the next 5 years look like for you? What do you want to do, Robert?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I mean, my goal is definitely to like make a feature film. Like I've been writing a lot. I'm on the third draft of one film. Still not happy with it, but yeah, just eventually just to like create stuff like that. I definitely want to do the music video route more. Like just making stuff with you has been great. I love that format, and it's like there are a lot of music videos out now, but like a lot of them aren't particularly like special or remarkable or memorable or anything, but like
kind of here and gone.
Yeah. No, a lot of people say that they hate music videos and never watch them, but
really, they still pull tons and tons of views.
Golly, man, thank you. Next,
but
Ariana Grande.
That's so people could listen to it for free.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
That's true.
But like my favorite, I don't know if anybody listening would be a fan of My Chemical Romance, but their videos are the best.
Oh, yeah.
There are like a lot of people who are doing, but here's one thing though. You taught me this, like this term is like replay value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is you want to watch stuff. It's like, so there are like levels where I was telling somebody, it's like, okay, there's one level where people are like, oh, I really like that. And there's another level where it's like, oh, I really like that. I'm going to comment. And then there's like, I really like it. I got to share it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then there's like, I really like it. Gosh, I got to watch this again. Or I got to play. You know what I mean? Like,
very well.
Stuff like that where you just watch something. You're like, gosh, you got to, you know, I remember watching like Maroon 5's Girl Like You or whatever. Like where they have that spinning.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
you were a fan of that song. I was like, I cannot.
dude,
stand that
have you
song.
seen the music video?
Yeah.
The
music video is pretty good.
Bro, I watched the
don't
music
like
video.
that song either.
The song's okay. And I was watching the music video. I was like, what the? And so I watched it again, and then I pulled it up at work, and I was like, hey, everybody gather around and just
Really?
like scratch your heads with me real quick for this song.
Wasn't there just a lot of spinning and then girls entering the
Yeah,
shot?
but like the way they like CGI'd him in and out, I thought was like really, really
Yeah,
cool.
I didn't watch it closely. I just wanted to see how many views it had.
Oh. Well, pay attention to it, PD.
I was glad that Thank You Next dethroned it in the charts.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Ariana Grande, the queen.
Yeah. But no, I think music videos there's still like a lot out there. It's just there are so many like mediocre ones that like people don't like think of them in like as much of a positive light anymore, unless they like recreate Mean Girls or something.
Yeah, like I'm a big metal fan, and for the most part, metal videos are so generic. It's just like a band playing in a room that would be like this room. Just take all the stuff out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty true.
And that's all the video is.
Okay, so like that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. So what is the purpose of a music video? Let me ask you. This is a little off brand,
Sure,
off topic.
yeah.
What is the purpose of a music video? For example, let's take somebody like Lecrae, because I was on Reach Records YouTube channel earlier today.
He's got a few solid videos.
And I was going through, a lot of them, and I was like, I mean, they're good. I'm pretty sure they have a big budget. I mean, they're filming them on Reds. They're like 3 or 4 days of production. There's a lot of post-production. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
But then I was like, is the purpose of the video to boost album sales? Is it like, there's no MTV, you know what I mean? So like the music videos aren't airing anywhere or.
I mean, online could still have a pull. Like there's definitely a business side.
And they
to
count
it.
those as streams now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's like maybe if, I mean, of course, like music, like the industry is very like personality driven. So just kind of like the bare minimum of seeing someone's face like sing a song to you, like kind of helps a little.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from just watching like an album cover. But
yeah,
I mean, still, like I'd say it's just like to like interpret like the theme of the song visually, or just find some way to use the medium to enhance it. Like if there isn't a way to do that, then like maybe a music video shouldn't exist for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like, and like a filmmaker I really like Ryan Booth. He's been directing these like Vivo Lift like live performances.
Yeah.
It's like a hybrid between a music video and a live performance. Like that's a style of video I'd like to see more. Where like if a song doesn't call for a specific music video, just like an extra high production value live performance is pretty powerful.
Dang.
You know, I'd like to never see again is like live stream music performances that like the audio is taken straight from the board and it's mixed horribly.
My gosh,
that needs to never be seen again.
Oh, that's the thing, man. Yeah, I think that people are like, this live and whatever. And
It
like,
sounds
don't
so
do that.
bad.
Don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely name like a ton of really good music videos, but it all comes back to like what is the theme of the song, and like what's a way to like kind of show that visually, or what's a way to like add an extra element that like audio wouldn't bring out that well, but like video and something visual can.
Yeah.
Do you have the experience where like a bad album cover will negatively affect your opinion of the music?
Definitely.
That happens to me.
Yeah.
And like color scheme too. Like there's a lot of variables.
I've never heard anyone else say this, but like the color scheme of like an album and its rollout kind of does affect my perception of music.
Really?
Yeah. Like you ever hear about people that like they say, oh, I could hear color. Like this note is red or this note is orange. Like those kind of people exist. I'm not sure if I'm like really that kind of person, but like if somebody like the color scheme of this album is like deep purple or like black or like blue or like lime green or something, like I do kind of envision that when I listen to music.
I've never like told anybody that before, but like that it'll be in my head when the song is playing.
I never
like,
thought
even
about
if
that.
I'm not really like that conscious of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about that.
So you got any mega church dirt to spill?
Enough with the small talk, Robert. You know why you're here. No, seriously though. You have any Presbyterian church stories?
Yeah.
Figured we'd get around to
we've
one.
had regular church stories, but we want
Presbyterian.
mega church stories or Presbyterian
mega church stories.
MAGA church stories.
Whoa! No,
Before my time.
we changed the show to Mega Church Stories podcast just for you, just for this one episode.
Okay. Man.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to be Mega Church, just church stories in general.
Okay. I do have a church sports story. If like anyone was ever involved in a church basketball before that.
Petey, you balled.
Yeah, I balled out.
You were balling? Okay.
Balled out of control a little bit.
Shut up.
Dunking on him. I couldn't dunk. I'm just kidding. We lowered the goal like one time so we could dunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we were all in 4th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Nice. I remember this very specifically because this one moment in like the small church basketball game, like 9:00 p.m. Monday night, is like the most memorable sports moment that has ever happened to me. So I was like the only kid in my high school youth group that wasn't on the basketball team, and no lie, they kind of threw a few shots at me because I was busy on the robotics team being smart and all that. And they're like, we're athletic and
all the people who are on the basketball teams right now, they're probably like assistant managers at Chick-fil-A. Look at you, Robert.
Exactly.
Look at where you're at.
Exactly.
But they probably-
Look where I am on the Church Stories podcast.
He made it. Where you at?
I mean, but the Chipotle manager probably kills it on like street ball on the weekends.
Yeah. Probably wears like that legging sleeve on his arm. You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
He has to cover his tattoos at Chipotle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Kills it. So you're on the robotics team.
Yeah.
What, at your church or for your school?
Oh no, for my school. Yeah. No.
Okay, killing
My
it.
church wasn't that cool. They didn't have a robotics team.
Do you have like a downhill derby team?
No, we just had basketball. Just basketball. You know, if you were a kid and you weren't into basketball, you were kind of screwed for a few months. But.
Okay, let me guess. Was your church? Did your youth group meet in the gym?
No, they didn't.
Was there a gym close by?
Yeah, no, we did have a gym, but it's like they would set up tables and we'd eat in there on Wednesday nights. So it's like a solid like half gym if you were willing to like spend 15 minutes moving stuff around.
Okay, so half the gym though, was it just a bunch of kids with balls throwing at the hoop for a majority of service before or after? Was that your?
Oh yeah.
That is tell me that's not just the universal youth group. Why does that? There was never order.
Exactly.
There was never anything.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, hey, hand me that ball. Or it's like, I made that. I'm like, what you
Yeah.
so? You're like, I'm not gonna give you back the. You know what I mean?
Our gym ceiling did have like there were like some like pipes, like air ducts and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like there was one like dodgeball, like foam dodgeball that it got lodged like in the ceiling. And like it was every once in a while we'd be like, this is the day.
We're gonna get that down.
Getting that
No,
down.
it's not. Junk's wedged in.
Exactly.
Those balloons
It's
up
still
there from
there,
from
probably.
like Valentine's Day up in the
Yeah.
ceiling too. So you're on the robotics team.
Yeah. So one night I had just watched my sisters play basketball, and a bunch of the girls on the girls team and me had all driven to watch the boys game. And this was the first game of the playoffs, which means that like up until now, not really a lot of stakes, but like whoever loses this game is going home. Their season's over.
Dang.
It's my church versus this other church. Now, everyone in my church like kind of takes this pretty seriously.
It's like on a scale of like 1 to stomp the yard.
Let's just say this: the girls team at my church was like pretty successful and like consistently made the finals,
Wow.
and the boys team never did. So
Oh, shoot. Wow. So
they
this is
they had to step it up.
Dang.
Definitely. Yeah, but yeah. So this game is going. My church, a bunch of like really fit dudes. I'd say most of them are like pretty fit. They look like they play basketball. The other team, however, it's people that look like me, pretty much. A bunch of skinny dudes and a bunch of chubby dudes.
You're like,
And they're-
my genre.
yeah, and they're just here to have fun.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but this ends up being a pretty tight game.
Wow.
Like a really tight game. They end up going into overtime. And now consistently throughout this whole game, there's this one dude on this other team. Everyone on the other team is like pretty decent and like has their moments. This one guy is this short, chubby kid, and he's just kind of like, it's like a half run, half waddle like the whole time. He's out of breath, just trying to like catch up with everybody.
Winded.
This isn't his sport, you know.
He's filling a spot.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man.
you know the teams are neck and neck. They managed to get into overtime, and so the clock is running down. It's running down. They're pretty even. No one scored somehow, but literally the last 3 seconds, like the ball ends up in this chubby kid's hand on the other side of the court. He like makes this, he's like shaking as he runs, rocking back and forth.
No.
2-1 at half court. He just Hail Mary lobs it. It goes across
On the other
the
team,
field.
on the other kid's team.
No.
The other church's team or y'all's team.
Yeah, the other church's team.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just
lobs it.
Just a Hail Mary
literally-
prayer.
Yes. Last second, it goes in.
Shut up.
Yes.
what the heck?
What was the reaction in the building?
Man, the least athletic kid just made this shot. That team was,
Did they lift him up?
oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. If not physically, they lifted his spirit up.
Yeah, they lifted him up in prayer. Yeah.
Man. And I will say that other team was so happy.
Oh, yeah, dude, really?
Man.
Were they just kind of like, wow.
And it's like, I know I'm supposed to be going for the church that I go to, but like low key, like it's just who I am. I always go for the underdog. And like literally people on my church's team, like there are a few people in tears. It's like
Really?
it's a very somber moment
my
for them.
gosh.
But I just because I'm not the biggest sports fan. I could appreciate sports pretty well. Like there's some amazing feats that happen, but probably one of the reasons that I'm not entertained by sports is like nothing that I'll ever see on television could come close to this chubby fat kid making a half-court shot at 2 seconds in overtime.
Nothing. You're watching grown. I don't want to watch grown men who've been practicing year round. I want to watch the kid who got off the couch from eating Doritos
Exactly.
because his mom signed him up for basketball last fall, and he's fulfilling his duty. You want to watch that kid beat another team.
Exactly.
Oh man!
I mean, I've approached the age now, and you two are past it, where you can look at those athletes and be like, for college football, and be like, they're younger than me,
dude.
like,
Oh yeah.
How
Yeah.
freaking scary is that?
like they don't even seem like the same species.
And they're like, oh, coming in at 6'7", 240 pounds, 19 years old. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm 19 years old. What the heck?
yeah,
That's like just
Exactly.
crazy. These kids are just
I know.
freaking. They're growing them in labs, man. What the heck?
Yeah. I also have the same thing with like actors and musicians where like you start to realize that, wow, like I just realized Billie Eilish is like 19 or something.
no, she's 16.
Oh, wait, she is 16. She's even younger than that.
Whoa!
Yeah. You know what I did when I was 16?
What?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't leave the house at 16.
There are people with like careers, like
Yeah.
just like crushing.
She does that. I mean, I like her music. I have some of her songs on my phone, but she does that indie girl thing where like
Oh
she
my
pronounces
gosh.
her T's as D.
Can you? What is that? What is that? What is that Vine that was like?
Welcome to my kitchen.
We've got bananas. And have you seen this
Should I
Vine?
play it?
I
Can
heard
you play this Vine?
I just happened to hear the last podcast. I was a little behind, but I heard the last one you referenced.
I guess I should just play it again.
So stupid.
Please.
Oh, it's playing in the other room. You got to take your
Oh.
Bluetooth off. Yeah. I was like, where is that playing at? Take your Bluetooth off real quick.
Okay. I was so confused. I was like, I swear I'm putting it into the microphone.
Welcome to my kitchen. We have bananas and avocado.
Has anyone like put an instrumental to this?
I don't
Dude,
think so.
bet. Wait a second.
You got a guitar right
search
here.
That Vine. Search that Vine and hit remix and see if anybody remixed that. Oh my
Are we
gosh.
gonna
That
edit
is,
out the silence and post?
yeah, sure. No.
So I could say all the dirty words now.
Is there anything?
Now we can tell atheist stories.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. The
No,
real
there's
goal.
nothing.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we could listen to the Halsey Mall video. That'd be on. No, we shouldn't do that. I like Halsey,
man.
but sometimes, you know, she.
I just found out that her name was Halsey.
Oh yeah, on the
From
last
you.
podcast.
Yes, yeah. I'm so ignorant, dude. You know,
Welcome to Halsey Stories.
Halsey stories.
oh man, you have any other church stories?
Man, any other church stories? I'm trying to think. Because
What's your best memory?
What
of
does
church?
John Gray smell like?
very expensive cologne and Fiji water.
Oh man, does he just drink Fiji water?
Oh yeah, no these. Yeah, all the worship team too.
Does he get paid?
Straight Fiji
But
water.
Are they sponsored?
I don't know. I should figure that out.
We'll ask him when he's
I
sitting
want a
right
Fiji
here.
sponsorship. So it's,
I just want to, John's PR team, if you're listening to this, we will screen all of our questions in advance. You can take out anything that you don't want in the podcast.
Yeah.
We won't even make.
You can edit it, like the whole thing.
if you ever have a PR failure, like this is the perfect place to come. Just lowball questions.
You know what's crazy is that, like, me and Petey are running a show from his basement. You know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
can contact people and be like, "You want to be on the show?"
I mean, like one of the
Public?
biggest podcasts is like Mark Maron still records in his garage. So.
Dude, yeah. Didn't he
Obama
just
came
move
to the
houses?
garage.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember listening to that episode. He was like, "I'm freaking out. There are snipers on my roof.
Yeah.
Obama's about to come." And I was like, "What the? We have made it." I wasn't even a podcaster then. Like, I was a podcast fan. But I was like, "This is it." That was so cool. That was such a cool, like, listening to him, like, freak out about that was freaking awesome. He was like, bomb dogs were sniffing my stuff in my house.
What do you think it's like being Mark Maron's neighbor? Because I know, like, coming here, like, I went to 2 other houses.
Oh, shoot, did you?
before. Yes.
Oh.
These I couldn't see the numbers in the dark. So.
Man,
But yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think like Daniel Day-Lewis has ever like knocked on Mark Maron's neighbor's door by mistake or something?
It's like, sorry, I'm looking for Mark Maron right here. Sorry.
It's like,
I don't know, man. You know, I have a theory. Like, people don't like care about people who live too close to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same way, like, you just don't respect restaurants that are really close to you. Like, I just think you just think less because you're like, oh, they're always there.
yeah.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that's why we like Roscoe's so much, is because it's across the country.
Across the country. Yeah. But, like, a place close to you could be just as phenomenal, and you're like, whatever.
Yeah, like I can have this
Yeah.
every day of the week if I want.
But it's like
it.
there's a certain element to where like if stuff is happening in your house, like you didn't sign up for this, like Jake Paul's neighbors probably. Or
Yeah,
like,
they were like,
Yeah.
what the?
we didn't
who-
expect like the
what's a
pool to
Jake
be on
Paul?
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake Paul's a notorious YouTuber who's been just.
Do
been
people not know who Jake
outrageous.
Paul is?
I
don't know.
You know,
I don't know what kind
I'm
of fans
sure
we have.
We might have a few bubble listeners who,
Hey,
who like had to get their parents' permission to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, listen,
Write in what kind of fan you are in,
Yeah.
in an iTunes review.
dude. That's the thing. I don't even know, but yeah. Jake, maybe you just don't know, or maybe there are people who are like, yeah, Mark, yeah, like, man, this is my house. Mark Maron lives over there. Something, but he does this. I don't know. He either has those types of fans, or his fans are just kind of like, who you got next on the show, Mark? You know, just kind of like it's one or the other.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. I'm just saying that could very well be this house.
Hopefully.
When Joel Osteen is rolling up with his snipers.
Yeah.
If you're like, Joel Osteen
You know,
snipers.
I mean, I put it out
Their
there.
gun just says, bless you, bless you. Like, it's not even a silencer.
Or like you do get shot, but I don't, it just like plays Joel Osteen's voice, like it's a gun that. I'm thinking about this now. Like, what if we made a gun that when you shoot it, it's just Joel Osteen's voice that comes out?
So it's like how the Joker like has that gun and like a little flag that comes out that says "Bam." And just,
Yeah.
a little flag that comes out that says "God bless you."
Baby.
Like a little flag comes out like live your best life, baby. You're like, what?
And a blast of air.
Oh, just the tiniest puff of air.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is good. We've talked mega church, we've talked small church, basketball, music, art, creating, Christian college, extinguish yourselves. You know, you even got to talk about John Gray some.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, hopefully that you'll be the hookup that gets him in this room. We're one person removed from John Gray right now.
Yeah.
What is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Man, I'm trying to think.
We kind of let things. We kind of just flow.
Oh, you know what? Since I'm in a place with 2 people that grew up like homeschool Christian.
Yeah.
Did you 2 go to a church that kissed dating goodbye? Were you a part of that?
No,
No.
I didn't even hear about that until recently.
Really?
Yeah, like the backlash against it.
Yeah.
No, I know enough about it though. Were you at a church that did that?
Yeah, because I'm aware that like my church was like kind of one of the last in that phase. Like even like the kids that are like a little younger than me, like kind of didn't have that same thing that I did. But
So-
that's just a weird like culturally specific thing.
It's very
but
specific.
Yeah.
And if you're still holding on to that, like the person who
The
invented
author
it, he
like-
went back on it.
I
Yeah.
goofed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I done messed up,
Okay.
Aaron.
Okay, so wait a second. Okay, wait a second.
Mm-hmm.
How detrimental is that?
Can y'all just like explain to me what was in the book? Because I don't
So,
even know.
Here's the so the concept of the book was this guy was like, don't hold hands, don't kiss, don't hug, don't
Yeah.
be alone together,
don't-
date in circles. This
Yeah.
dude basically like wrote like the rule book.
It's like
for
Bob
dating.
Jones style dating, where you're in a
Yeah.
room with a stranger and they're watching you.
mean-
It's I remember it very clearly because like you didn't date at all. You were never supposed to be alone
Yeah.
with a person of the opposite sex. If you were interested in someone, first of all, it had to like have a potential to end in marriage. So, and also like the parents were like very weirdly involved.
courting,
Like there was
yeah.
always a chaperone in this courting procedure. And
So
yeah.
he basically like this was like a prime scenario of somebody who something worked for him and then he went, oh, this should work for everybody.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't work. My rule is like, well, if it doesn't work in different cultures. Like when people are like, open up the door for the car of the lady. I'm like, well, what if people ride the bus? You know what I mean? Like that immediately. Like, what are you talking about? You spent a whole chapter talking about being a manly man. And you're like, what the heck? What is that?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything. So he wrote a book about all these things and like had like workbooks, right?
Yeah.
And then he was doing like basically like lesson plans and teaching churches
Sort of, yeah.
students how to kiss dating goodbye.
He was on like Bill Maher once when this was like a big thing in the early 2000s. That was
Jeez.
yeah. But yeah, it's weird to like I mean, looking back, like there's a lot of like funny stuff that happened because of it. Because like you get these people in like middle school and high school at the height of their hormones, and you're taught that like the godly thing is suppression, basically. that leads to so much.
And these are the people who lash out against Lauren Daigle for like showing too much of her
Too
arms.
much, like, arm.
Yeah. Like whatever
Yeah.
it was.
Dude, okay, but like there was I always see things just like a little bit on both sides as being a creator and also like a consumer of content as well. So a part of me, I was like, you know, whatever, I was familiar with that, but then like when he came back and like redacted like the whole book and was like I was wrong. I was like, man, too many people listened to you.
exactly.
And probably still
Too-
do.
Dude, too many people. Like, imagine, like, I was talking to I had dinner with a friend who was like, dude, like, there was so many girls I remember that I was interested in, but they were like, I kissed dating goodbye, you know, and they said that, like, that was like their out. That was like their, you know.
Which like girls, if you're listening, you can still use that even if it's not true.
exactly.
Yeah, listen here, take PD's advice. Just tell a dude. Yeah, but
If he's
then I thought,
creepy.
imagine like having mainstream success in the 90s, right? You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, you got to be like, oh, that doesn't work anymore.
Big oof. That's what I see all the time. On
Yeah, like-
comments.
Sorry? What do you say? Sorry?
Yeah, no, it's
What?
just such a
What?
weird fast because he was like 16 or 17 when he wrote this. It was like
What
this. Yeah, no, this like 17-year-old kid just thinks he knows
Seriously?
everything
He was
about the world.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like 17 when he wrote it.
Uh huh.
That's
Wow.
like you 2 years ago being a New York Times best-selling author, PD, about nothing else but dating
I
advice.
would not have good things to say.
And then like every parent, mom, dad out there just going like that PD Bachman's advice on dating and kissing dating goodbye is so important for my whole youth group.
At that point in your life, you
Golly,
don't.
I forgot
I
about
know,
that.
yeah.
That's like the main point of the whole thing.
But I'm sure creating stuff like both of you look back on whatever you did a few years ago and you're like,
Oh,
wow,
for real.
that
Yeah.
sucked.
It sucked, but it also didn't influence
didn't
the culture.
yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Like
that-
it
yeah, that's
sucked
the,
and
like-
it ended with like,
Yes.
200 views.
Yeah, like but if you have that platform and your stuff, like,
Right.
and what you're saying, like you don't even know what you're saying.
You don't know what you're saying. Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
I sound like
you're-
Jerry Seinfeld. You don't know what you're saying.
You don't know. You're a child. You're a child.
Even-
and you're teaching
yeah.
children how to date. Who are
removed
you?
from just like creativity, like what did you believe, like faith-wise, 17? That
Me?
you think it's just bull
Me?
crap now?
What the
Well,
what
you
the-
don't even,
no,
like-
You don't want to talk to me when I was 17.
None of
What?
your ideas are good about anything.
No.
I don't think.
Okay, this kid's ideas were literally on like the biggest platform in America.
Yeah.
And was heralded as like the the guy, you know,
Yeah.
for dating and like
And like he had a lasting effect on like
Yeah.
so many people. Like even now, like I could say with certainty that like I know I got into some relationships that I shouldn't have because I didn't have like the dating experience that like other people did.
Right.
Like I didn't have the ability to see red flags that like other people had
Right.
learned at a time where it was easier to fail. You know?
So, okay, so this is, I mean, we're coming into a topic here that's just a little bit, it's a little murky water because I think it's very difficult to tell people how to do something.
Exactly.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time I'm having to catch myself and be like, oh, I'm speaking for me right now.
Right.
Yeah, because you like it's easy to make general statements and be like, everyone should feel this way. This is how it
But
is.
that's
And be like,
not-
oh, it's my experience.
Yeah.
I think you just have to be very, very careful, especially with like, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, once again, I have to be careful with even how I say this because I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to be what I'm criticizing. But when it comes to dating, working, making, you know what I mean, like a career, I think there are so many people like who just go, "Oh, this is how you do that," and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Whoa!" Like, who are you talking to? How did they grow up? Because there are people that I knew, dude. Like, I knew a girl who was like, "Oh yeah, like." Like my boyfriend would sleep over at my house all the time. My parents would just let him do that. And I'd be like, whoa, the heck are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people just have grown up in so many different cultures of dating or whatnot. And then, I don't know, like it is just the wildest waters to navigate. And I'm thankful that I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But
Rub
at the
it in,
same time,
Shama.
no, I'm no, but at the same time,
Got Lil Sham on the way.
like Lil Sham, but at the same time, oh yeah, I'm expecting a child, Robert.
What?
I'm gonna be a dad.
Oh, you don't know?
Oh, you
Did I
told
tell
me.
you?
Oh yeah, I did tell
When
you.
we recorded
Oh
Lil
yeah, we
Drummer
recorded
Boy.
Lil Drummer Boy. I did tell you. But yeah, I think there's just something so problematic about, and I'm not even saying that this stuff isn't in the Bible. It's not biblical. There are things that are biblical about purity and marriage and all that and relationships and guarding, but then people talk about stuff like guarding your heart and checking and guarding, protecting and growing and nurturing, and then I'm like, what does any of that mean to a 17-year-old?
Exactly. Yeah.
What does that mean? What does it mean?
I will say like it's kind of the
You
way
know?
the way the American church is set up, like the role of like a pastor and like elders and stuff, like they have a lot of power, and if you watch Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, you know that power corrupts. And yeah, like there's a certain type of personality, a person out there that just really enjoys being in charge and telling people what to do and how to live their lives. And like the church needs to be careful because that type of person, if they grow up in a Christian circle, like is going to be drawn to the position in charge, and you need to make sure that like their motives are right, because I think there are a lot of people that just enjoy telling people what to do and how to live their lives,
and they're basing that off of
what works for them,
what worked for them.
Yeah.
I'd look at the position of being a pastor, like who would want to take on that headache?
So I think and here's where I just think about it differently, to having been in the ministry.
Oh yeah, because you did it.
is first and foremost, it's not a position for the ambitious, and also you kind of have to put your ideas and your assumptions aside, because I think, to me, like even in youth ministry, more than anything, I enjoyed bonfires that we held. You know what I mean? Like I enjoyed times together just talking about, the word. Like I enjoyed the relational part of ministry.
The thing outside of the structure. But the structure was what gave you your title. But then that it allowed you to do things outside that you deem more meaningful.
But then like when it came to the structure and when it came to meetings and things like sit downs and like that I had to sit in, it was always about the structure. So the questions were never about, hey, how's so-and-so doing? It was always like, hey, how many people were there? How was the event? How many people are coming? How's the promoting? How is this? So all of a sudden, like, what's the budget? What are you doing? How are you feeding? So, and I understand, like, the machine was, and so I was thinking, just to me, like, I know, like, okay, your goal of ministry is different from my same thing of your, like, people, for example, people are like, oh, like if a youth pastor, they were like, oh, I want to teach people how to date. We're going to do a series. We're going to pick up a series from online on dating to please the Lord instead of you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you do it. When as opposed to spending time with people and talking with people, one-on-one and, all of a sudden you're cultivating, people are learning, okay, how did so-and-so date? And how did, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like a different approach to learning because one, just go, oh, we did a great series on dating. Everybody's going to do great. All right, cool. Girls show up pregnant. Dudes show up with girlfriends that they're touching each other. They're doing more outside of church. So all of a sudden you're like, whoa, but what about my series? Like, yeah, nobody cared about your series, Pastor Tyler. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
one thing about having to, so like take someone like Joe Rogan, takes a year for him to come up with an hour. Like an hour that he's proud of, something that's solid. But then a pastor is asked to do an hour every week. Yeah.
I mean, the source material has stayed the same for a while.
Well,
you could just rehash the greatest hits. If you're
the greatest hits. I called that. Yeah, I said that in a Facebook post one time about like a greatest hits. But I love thinking about sermons like that. Man, I don't know. I think this stuff, I just think about it differently having been like behind the curtain, for example, but either way, it's still very murky. I just think when you're dealing with, and I was just talking to Grace about this the other day, like when you're dealing with people who have very, like extensive backgrounds and cultures and families and rearing and all this other kind of stuff, dude, you have to be you can't just come in and throw a blanket statement of date this way, work this way, spend your money this way. Yeah. And also because you're like, you don't know, you can't say that.
But people like that certainty. And that's what draws a lot of people to religion in the first place, is they see it as, here's rules I follow to get to heaven. Yeah.
Just black and white, everything.
Yeah.
Afterlife insurance. That's the Pete Holmes line.
Gosh, man.
I freaking love
I've heard
Pete Holmes.
fire insurance.
You're a weirdo too?
Oh, I am a weirdo.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
I've made it weird a lot.
Yeah. But man, so what were you gonna say about the dating goodbye? A dating goodbye,
I was just wondering if you two had either had an experience with that. Like I pretty much said mine. I guess it's like, for lack of, maybe I'll be the first podcast guest that gets bleeped, but it's a bunch of horny teenagers told to suppress themselves, and that leads to a lot of funny moments, definitely. Because that kissing dating goodbye does not stop youth group crutches by any means. It's just they're just played out so much differently.
Right. We're not going to censor that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you want the first guest to be censored. That'll happen by the time this one comes out.
There's several.
Yeah. I could take care of that right now if you want.
No. You're good. You're good.
Just say all the cuss words, right?
But that's, I don't know. You live, you learn. I hate that man had to learn because all of a sudden he's doing press for a whole nother reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
I listen to Good Christian Fun, and they always say
I do listen to that a lot.
Yeah, I French kissed dating goodbye.
Oh.
Did you hear Shama was mentioned on that podcast?
Oh,
No, I
yeah, they
didn't.
did. They mentioned Veggie Tales on that
God.
podcast.
They
yeah.
they mentioned being annoyed by how many times it was sent to them.
It was sent to
Oh,
their
okay.
group. Like, because we were in that
Yeah,
group.
I was in the group. Yeah, at the time it blew up. Because
Really?
I had
People
I had
just sent
submitted
it.
the video first, but they apparently have a rule about self promotion, so it didn't go through.
Oh, shoot, really?
They have like subreddit rules on there.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of other people submitted it, and I saw somebody make a post. They're like, okay, freak, we've seen the Veggie Tales video.
Yeah.
We broke good for shit.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's what this podcast is.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I want to get one of them on here.
Dude, that'd
Oh,
be
for
really
real?
cool.
I bet they do it.
No, I'm a big fan of both of them, definitely.
They're killing, man.
They're hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been great.
This has
It's been a good episode.
Yeah.
This has been good Christian fun.
Oh, plagiarism. Yeah.
Before we end this, I do need to say one more thing. I need everybody to know about the funniest thing that happened on the set of our latest video, Little Drummer Boy.
Shoot. Yeah, okay.
This is like if I'm ever on You Made It Weird, this is my story at the end of the podcast when he asks what's the hardest I've ever laughed.
Okay, wait a second.
Yes,
What
yes.
is it?
Okay,
Oh,
so
you weren't there. That's why you don't know it. It was something you
wait,
did.
are we, yeah. So we're setting up for one of the shots where we're kind of recreating that scene in Elf where he makes like the big like Christmas spaghetti, but we had written down that like we need to like put the spaghetti in the microwave and like reheat it like 15 minutes prior to the shot. And Shama had already changed into that giant Christmas tree costume.
Oh, yeah.
And then me and him were talking about what shot was next, and we realized, oh, we haven't put the spaghetti in yet, and that's the next shot. And so Shama just is
jumped
like,
up,
yeah, he is in the Christmas tree costume and just goes, oh, I need to check on the spaghetti. And just
I went, my spaghetti.
Yeah,
And I
that's-
ran.
and he does like it's a half sprint, half waddle because this is a very bulky costume. And the that was funny enough for me, but then I thought about it, and from the rest of the crew's perspective, they weren't there with us. They were all like, it's between setups, so they were like getting props or like getting food or whatever, and they hadn't seen Shama in this Christmas tree costume yet. So they're just minding their own business, and they hear, oh, my spaghetti, and they see a giant Christmas tree, half sprint, half waddle across the room.
That was the thing.
And
that
also,
was so
nobody
funny.
really knew that the next shot required spaghetti.
Oh,
either.
Yeah. So
No
all
one
of us-
knows why there's spaghetti.
I think me and Freeland were laughing so hard that like my mouth hurt by the time I was done laughing. But I didn't know about the spaghetti thing, and then all of a sudden, like it was kind of southern the way you said it. My spaghetti. Like, and then I was like, but it's just that you were doing something serious while wearing a Christmas tree costume. That was the thing that was the
And then
most
after I was
funny.
like, wow, why am I wearing this? It's hot. I'm like, I'm still working on props. I'm gripping this shoot.
Also, you can't see in the video, but the costume did come with Christmas tree or
yeah.
Christmas present shoes.
Oh my gosh, dude. That junk was.
Like we couldn't
That
even
was
look
so
at you
funny.
without laughing.
Yeah, so stupid.
You would like say something that like
So everybody go watch Little Drummer Boy and stream it on Spotify or Apple Music
Yeah,
or
check
wherever
it out.
music is sold.
Right now, do it. You're funding music videos, other music videos, and content. Man, we've had a ton of fun though. This year's been amazing.
be on the lookout.
This year feels so long, but also so short. Because like so much time has passed,
Yeah.
but also it's kind of like, what the heck? I feel like so much time passed with us planning stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it just
Yeah.
felt like nothing.
David O'Doherty, he's a comedian that was on Pete Holmes at some point, but he said life it's not a marathon that you sprint. Or no, I'm going to butcher the line. He said something that I feel like I have to Google it now because I don't want to mess it up, but yeah, just cut this.
All right.
We'll just cut it and then come back like you just said the most
Yeah.
inspirational thing. Like,
Yeah.
wow, PD, that was such a
I tried to
great
quote a joke that I heard 3 years ago that like I had the idea.
I was very
of,
moved
but
by it.
You're good. Hey,
I'm gonna relay that to Pastor John Gray.
Please do.
like they're not ready, John.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been a great episode.
Oh,
This has
yeah.
been a great episode.
Yes.
I've enjoyed it. Glad we got to get you on, Robert.
Definitely, yeah.
We always end with praise reports. You already know. PD, what's your praise report?
My praise report is that Alabama won the SEC championship. That'll be mine.
Bless.
You said you were watching it,
Wow.
right? You were doing a show at the time.
I was watching. I watched part of it. I was doing a show on Saturday.
Didn't that wait? So Was the game on during that guy's set?
No, it was on like a little bit before his set. Yeah. So it was like, what time was the game ended at like 8? And I think he went up at like 7:50 or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, did he see
the headliner?
Did he see the part that was the most important?
I'm pretty sure he did. Because he went up and killed because he was in a good mood.
Okay. Yeah. So I on the Bachman family Alabama group chat.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The Bachman family Alabama group chat?
That's what I call it. My uncle said that he was crying, and my dad's like, "Yeah, I'm crying too." And then I'm not gonna lie, when he ran that touchdown in, I started crying into my Alabama towel.
What happened to elicit that response? Because Alabama winning the SEC isn't a rare thing.
Yeah, so it's like it's normal. Here's the thing that happened. So last year, Jalen Hurts was bombing, I guess, like the football equivalent of bombing, in the championship game.
No one was laughing at him.
Yes, so they pull him for the freshman quarterback who's never started a college game, and he wins the game for Alabama.
Yeah.
First start ever in the championship game.
Dang.
So then,
so isn't like Alabama's backup quarterback so like a normal college's like a star quarterback?
Yeah, he was that year. He was SEC Player of the Year. Okay. And then next year, so he's benched, and what a lot of quarterbacks do is leave. Like if they're number 2, they go be number 1 at a different school. But he stayed. So like the rule is if you play 5 games, you have to stay at that school. So like when he took a snap at his 5th game, like the whole stadium stood up and applauded because he didn't leave. But so so the other guy was still number 1 quarterback, but he got injured in the championship game.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So Jalen Hurts comes in and wins the game for them.
Oh dang.
Yeah. So I looked on Reddit, and all those people were crying too. So I was like, I guess this is like every Alabama fan
Is that
got
why
emotional.
everybody was like, you can't write a better story?
Yeah.
I was like,
It's because the same thing happened, but just like the complete opposite.
Wow. That was your praise report.
That's my praise report. Roll Tide.
That's your praise report, Robert.
Okay. The other day, I came across something that very much put me in the Christmas spirit. I forget this dude's name, but you could Google or you could search this on YouTube easily. He made a song called "The 179 Days of Christmas," which is essentially the 12 days of Christmas, but with 179 items, and it's an almost 9-hour long song. It's like 8 hours and 50 minutes. I haven't listened to the whole 9 hours, but I've scrubbed through various points, and it brought me a lot of joy and a lot of laughter.
And how many hours is it? How long is it?
It's almost 9 hours. The reason it's 179 is because like the maximum amount of time you could upload to YouTube, I think, is 9 hours. So
shut up.
Well, what about 10-hour versions of things?
Yeah,
wait,
there are 10-hour versions.
Are there? Okay,
I think so.
I might have that wrong. Okay,
That's crazy though.
but yeah.
I've
that is
listened to
stupid.
Nyan Cat 10 hours.
That's
did?
Not the whole thing.
Oh, shoot, dude.
Can we play that song to end the podcast? The whole thing?
Oh my god, I'll look it up during Shama's.
All our hosting space. Yeah. Shoot. What's my praise report? Man, me and my wife are flying to Missouri in a couple weekends.
For what?
She's got friends up there, so I've never been to Missouri.
That's the furthest away I've been from home is Missouri.
Really?
I'm not a very well-traveled person. I've just been in the South and Missouri, but
the South and Missouri.
I thought you were going to
Sounds
say
like a comedy album.
I've got a gig in Missouri.
No, I wish. I might do some time. Dude, what's his name? Jaron Myers is from Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
Kansas City. I'll hit him up. Be like, hey, man.
You should do a podcast with him where you Skype me.
Hey, man, we'll see.
If he's out there.
I mean, I'd probably be impossible to get.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. But, yeah, so I'm excited about that. We're doing that. Then we come back on, like, the day before Christmas Eve and then go to Charleston. So, just excited about the holidays, you know?
Yeah.
It's falling out of control.
cool.
Saying holidays is an attack on Christmas.
Holiday. Oh, sorry. Merry Xmas. Is that an attack on?
No, because
Not technically.
The
The
Greek
X stands
abbreviation
for- yeah.
for Christ. I was told by
Yeah.
internet Pharisees.
That's a more scholarly to say.
I called them.
Reddit scholars.
I called my comment people internet Pharisees now.
Oh my gosh, they love you. They love you for that. I'm kidding. They hate you.
Yeah, they. I don't know if they follow me, so they don't hate me.
That's
but they
what's so
just,
weird about haters online.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they hate you, but they're like, I still want to keep up with you and see what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, wait, are you keeping up to hate, or are you keeping up to because you don't like it?
No, I could name a ton of artists that are only as popular as they are because everyone hates them. But
Wait, you know who White Boy is?
White Boy?
In this music, White Boy.
oh, yes, white boy.
Yeah.
He
I
just
don't know
I
this
saw
person.
he put out a video where like wears a MAGA hat and is like he just does a bunch of stuff to try to make people mad.
I only know about him
And it
because
works.
I'm a fan of Fantano. And
Oh, okay.
I got Fantano
Yes,
to interact with the Deuteronomy
I figured-
post. That's
Really?
yeah.
I figured out about 179 Days of Christmas through Fantano.
Really?
It's the third.
Dang.
That's awesome.
Thing that comes out. Yeah.
That was on his weekly track roundup.
Yep.
Hey, all right. We did it.
Yeah.
The episode's in the can.
Solid podcast.
Good show.
All right.
Guys, this been
Is this how this
Robert
ends?
Therrell. We're gonna drop your social medias in the description. People to
Okay.
check you out.
Cool.
Follow you. Of course, we're gonna plug whatever work you've got coming up next.
All
We're
right.
collaborators
Yeah.
in the after school program.
Maybe you could shoot my. I have a SoundCloud
Oh
rap career
my
coming up,
gosh.
and
PD
I'm
has
thinking.
this.
I think
We're
I'm
talking
gonna
about
go,
this on the air.
we could. I want to go by the name Lil Postle. I want to be
Lil Postle?
Yeah, the
He's got
first
this.
like Lil Pump, Post Malone, like but Christian.
He's got.
artist.
Do you want to talk about your
Uh,
song?
Jesus gang, Jesus gang, Jesus gang, Jesus
Yeah,
gang.
that's what I had.
It's it. What is it? What is it?
Got 10 loaves, I got 2 fish.
Jesus gang. What'd you say? What'd you say?
Jesus Christ is a fish.
PD said, Jesus gang, Jesus gang, Jesus gang.
Oh,
Jesus gang, Jesus
instead
gang.
of
my girl love praise his name.
And then instead of me and my grandma take meth, me and my grandma prayer athletes. I forgot what rhymed with athlete, but it worked. Whatever it was.
It was cooking meth. Or like
Yeah,
lives
in the
a tent
streets,
or something
and
like
then
that.
like praising his name in the streets. Me and my grandma prayer athletes.
Stupid. Hey, we're.
Yeah,
I've
it'll
already
drop later, I
I've
hope.
told PD that I'm producing that, so we're gonna make this happen for real.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're
man.
all gonna have rap careers at some point.
This
I
is
hope so.
I
freaking
still
A.
have a single that needs a video.
Dude,
showing.
yes.
Hey.
Hey, stream this song.
What
You wanna
if-
we can drop that at the end of this. Ah, shoot, you're not releasing that yet.
Hey.
It's not mixed yet.
Oh, okay.
Let's all put out stuff separately and then form our own like Migos.
Yes. Mama.
Oh man, is the internet ready? Hey, I really hope we get enough just time and money next year to do stupid stuff, man.
But I have a new theme song for church. So church stories.
Church stories. Church stories.
That's it. That's the theme song. Catch that on the next episode for real. I edit these.
Wait, is this over now?
Oh no, this is it. Hey, this has been Church Stories.
This is the third ending of the podcast.
Oh, you've been awesome. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Church stories. Church stories.